Good afternoon. I am Sanjay Sahay, Inspector General of Police, Eastern Range, Davangere, Karnataka. My subject is Safeguarding the Enterprise, a New Approach. Attacks are increasingly sophisticated these days. Current solutions are not adequate. Organizations want to increase the sophistication of their employees and the solutions. 56% of the breaches require months to years to contain. 16% of the breaches are discovered via active, deliberate action. 24% of APT malware is detected by an antivirus solution. The value of monitoring logs, perhaps we can say mining, cannot be overstated. The signs are there. We just need to get better at recognizing them. Verizon 2010 data breach report. This is the challenge of safeguarding the enterprise. We watch these attackers and we know them. Some are very fast moving. If you lose track of them in your system, you can lose them for months, if not forever. The impact of damage remains unknown. Welcome to the webinar on Safeguarding the Enterprise, a New Approach. Why do you need this safeguard the enterprise? It's primarily for the physical security and secondly for safeguarding the data. Safeguarding the data is at the base of all business concerns, all business development, and to achieve the goal of the enterprise. During the course of this presentation, we'll be taking you through the definition of the safeguarded enterprise, a new approach, that's the Gartner white paper, the goals, security risk and key success factors, security architecture, data center, connectivity and application. We would also go through a consolidated management system of security information and events, the help which we get from single sign-on in an integrated application, and the challenges which we are getting in terms of cloud computing by way of increase in use of mobility and the like. When I started into safeguarded enterprise, it's very difficult. I went through the whole of the net. There's hardly any satisfactory definition of a safeguarded enterprise. Search seemed to be futile. And I created a definition on my own. A safeguarded enterprise is the sum total of a clear-cut perception, appropriate integrated planning, documentation, meticulous execution and dynamic robust maintenance of enterprise security policy at awareness, attitudinal, physical systems, processes, application, and data dimensions throughout the enterprise, creating a near fail-safe enterprise. The objective is a near fail-safe enterprise. The new approach is that the security should not be treated as a silo. Over the years, security has always been treated as a silo. And the three parts of the enterprise architecture, there's the business, information, and technology, were integrated in the enterprise architecture, and security was always out of the integrated system. In the year 2006, there has been a Gartner white paper incorporating security into the enterprise architecture process. This integration would lead to an integration at the design level itself, and security becomes a part from BIT, that is Business Information and Technology, to Business Information Technology and Security. So security provides the support system for business, information and technology, and also gets integrated into a system wherein it aligns with the business goals. The alignment of every single component, every single domain, every single department with the business goals of the enterprise is most critical for the business development and or for the profit maximization of the enterprise. Nonetheless, whatever importance we give to data protection, the importance which should be ascribed to the physical security cannot be compromised. 9/11 has been a watershed in modern history. Whatever come may, physical security will always count, whether it's land, air, or water. We start with the goals for safeguarding the enterprise. The main goal is to provide a structure, coherence, and cohesiveness. It has to be an one integrated structure which will enable the business to security alignment. Security is not an outside element. Security is as critical an element to the business development, to the progress, to the enhancement of the enterprise as any other component, whether it's business, information, or technology. It has to be a top-down beginning with the business strategy, where the whole concept emanates from the CEO or the board and finally comes down to the last end user, each integrated in a very, very synchronized manner to the business goal, to the business ethics, and also to the day-to-day functioning of the activities through the ERP solution of the enterprise. Finally, establishing a common language for information security within the organization. The key success factors of security primarily revolves around the security awareness. With large number of employees, at times more than 100,000 across the organization, across the globe, the critical point is the security awareness. From the security awareness, we flow into the physical parts, that is the network security and the application security. There is no denying the fact that application is most critical for all tasks which is conducted in the organization. An ERP solution is the solution on which the organizations work, ably supported by the operating system security. The application security gets enhanced, upgraded, or scaled up through the patch and the AV management. And finally, the day-to-day controls is done through the security incident and event management. The security incident and event management we'll be discussing in the slides to come. For the present moment, we get into the security architecture, which primarily revolves around the people, processes, and technology. People are critical to the organization. Under the category people, which basically are your end users, which are the organizational staff, we need user awareness, guidance, administration, and monitoring. Under the processes, we have policies, standards, guidelines, and audit. And at the platform, at the lowest end of the platform, is technology, where we have intrusion protection systems, firewall, antivirus, and the like. A strategic planning on the IT security is extremely important. The strategic planning generally revolves around a concept which is known as defense in depth. Defense in depth is a concept which describes the layers of defense strategies, the component at each layer working in tandem to provide one cohesive security mechanism. This layered approach also helps localize the impact, and if one element is compromised, it does not lead to the whole strategy, to the whole IT security getting compromised. At the core of this depth of layer concept is the data. The second concurrent layer is application, followed by host, internal network, perimeter, physical, and then the policies, procedures, and awareness. We see a downward filtration theory starting from policies, procedures, and awareness to data, data being the most critical part of the whole enterprise. Data center connectivity and application are at the core of enterprise security. Till recently, we have had all major enterprises having their data center of their own. Yeah. The data center was supposed to be a logistical infrastructure support system to the functioning of the enterprise. As per my line of thinking, data center is as dynamic as the application itself. The main purpose of a data center is running the application that handles the core business and the operational data of the organization. A very, very secure application on a robust data center and a robust networking gives the confidence to the end user in the manner which enhances the business productivity, the availability of the application, and the quality of the experience which the end user undergoes gives him the strength, gives him the comfort level to be comfortable with all task activity which he is supposed to perform on the system. We have in this slide diagram of the Karnataka State Police Data Center. It was created under my guidance, and it helps support the functioning of a 5,000 computer network with a disaster recovery center, which is in the same data center itself. Technically, it should be located somewhere. The exercise is on to do that co-location at a different place. Secure connectivity is the backbone. The Karnataka State Police has a secure connectivity of 42 MPLS sites and 1,400 VPN or broadband. This secure connectivity, which is a broadband connectivity, it integrates 1,400 locations on VPN over broadband and 42 locations on MPLS, finally integrating into one single server, which supports the application by name Police IT, which has 522 screens and 417 reports, and takes care of every single activity of Karnataka State Police, which is distributed across 12 modules and has intra and inter linkages across the software application. Application, as I told you earlier, is at the heart of the enterprise. The application data security life cycle starts with the assessment, sets policies and controls, monitors and enforces, and finally it measures the usage, it measures the utility, it measures the impact. The assessment generally, generally revolves around discovery of servers, data, test configuration, inherent risk, and the like. The policies and controls generally indicates as to the line in which the company should move forward. And the IT security policy gives a very clear-cut detail as to how the support systems are to be put in place, as to how the IT infrastructure has to be put in place, and the like. At the level of monitoring and enforcement, ensure separation of duties. The persons who are responsible for running the IT security. So what are their roles? What are their privileges? What is the reports they are supposed to generate? Enforce user accountability. User accountability is by far the most critical component. Until unless we are able to enforce user accountability and restrict him to the roles and privileges which is supposed to undergo, it would be extremely difficult to control the user. The users can have any number of issues which compromises the IT security of the enterprise and capture complete, full and comprehensive detail, and the alert and block in real time should also continue. There are built-in and custom reports, and there are also security event analysis as and when required. So the IT manager and the system administrator should be on the same frame, should be on the same frequency, and they should be able to understand what details thrown up by the security manager, by the security system, by the pop-ups, by the event management system, what does it indicate, and what are the actions which are supposed to be taken on that. Knowing the issue, knowing the vulnerability is only the beginning of the exercise. Patching up the vulnerability and using it up in a scaled manner, that is the main challenge. The security information and event management system provides you a single dashboard for every single security incident, every single security event cropping up in the whole enterprise. It finally entails asset recovery, threat detection, vulnerability assessment, event collection, correlation, event management, and log storage. The security incident and event management, it is an intelligent platform. It has intelligence. The platform itself has intelligence, and it gives a complete visibility of all activities which are performed on the IT security backbone by all end users, all data administrators. Every single audit log is there available in the security incident and event management system. The main capabilities are, there's a spelling mistake, it is a data aggregation, correlation, alerting, dashboards, compliance, and retention. There is one single concept which can revolutionize the user experience. It can revolutionize how we work on integrated systems. It can also help us in integrating legacy systems with the ERP on which we work on. That is the single sign-on concept. The single sign-on, it's a property of access, which gives you access to multiple yet related software systems. Conversely, single sign-off is a property whereby single action of signing out terminates access to multiple software systems. This is not a very recent concept, but nonetheless, it is not being used by vast majority of organizations. The end user finally ends up logging in into large number of software systems. There's a waste of time. There are a lot many other issues, and there is also user fatigue. Besides losing on a very useful, critical time of the end user. Single sign-on is more secure, reduces password fatigue, and also the time spent on re-entering passwords. Passwords, forgetting passwords is a major issue, and most of the calls which come to the help desk are related to password. In the process of a single sign-on, it also reduces the IT costs. Security on all levels of entry, exit, and access to the system, and centralized reporting for compliance adherence. The monitoring part, the supervision part, the event management part, all these things improve with this system of single sign-on being put in place. As we move forward, cloud computing is posing the biggest challenge to computing, to IT security, because it takes the enterprise to a totally different level of agility. It takes the enterprise to a totally different level of profit maximization. It takes the enterprise to a totally different level of technology and also collaboration. There are a large number of security issues associated with this leveraging of investment, this leveraging of technology, and works on two sides. One is the cloud service providers, and second are the issues related to the customers. The provider must ensure that the infrastructure is in place, it's secure, and the services are available on a 24/7 basis. The customer must ensure that the provider has taken all possible security, which is incommensurate, appropriate to the requirements of the customer. Cloud computing primarily works on the virtualization technology, and virtualization implementation itself is a great security concern. Though neither cloud nor virtualization are very, very nascent, but both combined, they are in a nascent stage. Virtualization alters the relationship between the operating system and the underlying hardware. It may be computing, it may be storage, it may be networking. This introduces an additional layer between the operating system and the hardware, and itself has to be properly configured, managed, and secured. Otherwise, there are the potential to compromise the virtualization software. While these concerns are largely theoretical, they do exist. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Before we conclude this lecture, there are major challenges which the IT security faces, with which the enterprise faces, and with the managers who are into safeguarding the enterprise face. Advanced cyber threats of the day has reached such a situation that single enterprises are not in a position to give complete security to their IT backbone. There is a need for a collaboration. Collaboration is the key to moving forward. No single organization can respond effectively. There is also a need of an organization of the nature of Advanced Cyber Security Center, which we have in the US, working on a cross-sector collaboration and delivering goods which are unimaginable in our country. The Advanced Cyber Security Center talks about strengthening short-term defenses and long-term capability. It will deliver actionable intelligence to bolster an organization's defense in short term and generate new defense strategies and R&D in the long term. In the near-term results, we have frontline analytics. Medium-term results, we have new predictive analytics development, and long-term results is research and development. Cloud computing with virtualization is certainly a challenge, which we will see through in the days to come. The technology, the human resource, and the will to get over to cloud computing is getting stronger by the day. We should not forget the fact that mobility, the mobile equipments, they provide the biggest, simplest, and easiest access to the resources of the enterprise. Mobility will remain a major IT security challenge in the days to come. In our country, there is also a need for country standards, and also those standards have to be enforced. Besides that, the enforcement of international benchmarking and protocols also remains important. There is a need that at the time of the creation of the software itself, at the time of the development of the software itself, all the security features should be embedded in the software. The software, the connectivity, the data center, and the awareness of the end user, besides getting onto new technologies in a safe, secure, benchmarked, validated manner, would be the ideal roadmap for providing enterprise security. To conclude, complexity is our life and making it simple our goal. Technology gains the highest end with simplistic products and services. The complexity of IT security gets confounded with innumerable applications, the processing power, the World Wide Web interface, cross-enterprise collaboration and the like. Cloud computing, mobility. Cloud computing, though in its nascent stage, has thrown a major challenge to IT security, the success of which would be epochal, and the IT services will take a well-deserving leap forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sahai, for the wonderful presentation. A lot of points you touched upon, particularly on the securing the assets and most probably with relevance to the country as well. There's one question, if you could take in from one of our attendees. That's from Sanjeev Chaudhary. He wants to know how to control unwanted entry with latest security devices.
Unwanted entry on the intranet, it is much easier.
Intranet, yeah.
Because that, hello. The
Yes,
company
sir.
works on two systems. Either it works on the web or it works on the internet. For reasons which are very, very clear, most companies or nearly all companies work on their own intranet. While working on the intranet, whatever security policies which are in place, whether to use a port, not to use a port, whether to use a pen drive, not to use a pen drive, and to go in for large many channels of security. There will be a first layer security, there will be a second layer security. At the data center level, they will also have a demilitarized zone. The demilitarized zone would provide you access or an interface with the outside world, with the web, with the World Wide Web. And there would also be a part of the data center which would deal only with the secure applications. The applications, say SAP R/3 running in an organization will work in the most secure part of the IT infrastructure of the data center. Besides that, the security of the intranet. So you have VPN over broadband. There are a large number of companies who don't want to get into VPN over broadband. Once a hacker is able to get into the VPN tunnel, he can pose immense challenge. Besides that, there is a very close monitoring of every single user. Most of the challenge comes from the user. Most of the challenge comes from the World Wide Web. World Wide Web provides 56% of the intrusion. And if we have a comparative analysis of the challenges from outside and challenges from inside, most of the time the IT security has been compromised by people who have been a part of the organizations for the reasons best known to them. Reasons also we are aware of. Remote
Thank you, sir.
And
sir, I apologize for interrupting, but we are cutting into time. But just wanted to thank you from all our attendees and from the UVM as well. Thank you so much for your wonderful insights and presentation, sir. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks.